Donald, President Trump is calling for a $54 billion increase in the military budget provided by cutting discretionary programs elsewhere. Democrats say the defense budget is already bloated and doesn't need any more money, but at least one Republican lawmaker says $54 billion, that's not nearly enough. Armed Services Chairman Mac Thornberry wants a budget increase of $91 billion to cover military readiness, maintenance, and training, which he says atrophied under the Obama administration. So, should we slim down the military or beef up the cash stash? Here to weigh in, it's Pete Hegseth, Army veteran from Iraq and Afghanistan. He's not from there, but that's where he fought. He's also a Fox News contributor. Welcome back, Pete.
Thank you.
It's our favorite subject. We have so much overlap
it is.
because I just think that the military is a hungry beast and we should just keep feeding it. It'll make much more efficient.
All right, I believe we can do both. So I'm with Mac Thornberry and John McCain. I think the increase should be even larger because of how gutted our military has been. However, you and I both agree the waste, the acquisitions, the way that the Pentagon spends money is abysmal. It is a dysfunctional bureaucracy in so many different ways. There's a lot of money that goes down rat holes. It's only going to be hawks.
They're big
it's
rat
only going to be
holes.
defense. Like big ones, big, massive ones.
Big, stinking rat holes, Pete.
Where money goes and never comes back. But it's going to be hawks. It has to be hawks, like McCain and Thornberry, that are going to do that kind of reform. Otherwise, they'll resist it. And both chairmen have said that they're committed to acquisitions and personnel reform, deep ones that the industries won't like, in exchange for additional funding to make sure that we modernize,
I understand that.
that we rebuild.
I agree. I agree with you there. We have to modernize the military because, you know, we've talked about on this program a lot of times, and you've heard it in a lot of places. We're still fighting this sort of outdated pre-Cold War model that helped us to victory, certainly in World War II.
Yeah.
But it is inefficient in this day and age, and, you know, obviously that needs to be reassessed. It doesn't all happen at once. I also agree with Senator McCain that the F-35 program is going to cost a lot more than the projected $400 billion budget. The president said that he has intervened to lessen that burden, but you still have the Raytheon GPS-led missile system that's 25% over budget and 5 years late. And there are a number of projects just like that, not to mention the $125 billion that the Pentagon says, after their own internal inquiry, completely wasted.
We could go on and on and on. So you're not going to get any disagreement here. But what the president has done, what President Obama did to this military over 8 years is truly hollow it out and decimate it. Rebuilding that requires a big down payment up front so you can restart the rebuilding of ships. You can provide the supplies and maintenance to old aircraft that are not being properly maintained. You can start to rebuild some of these brigade combat teams that are literally hollow. You can provide the training that hasn't been happening, the flight hours that have not been happening. All that requires resources, and then you've got to chip away at all the inefficiencies and utter waste. And it's not just that's not just a tagline to viewers out there. There are real processes, red tape that can be slashed, putting accountability into the service chiefs so that they're accountable for the projects in ways that you could save a lot of money and make sure the dollars we're using go to the right place.
I guess that's my question is, why aren't you shifting the money? Why are you just asking for more money? Because you are feeding the beast at that point, and you are appeasing and justifying a system that in many ways is broken, and all of that breakage doesn't add up to what you're saying we need, which is military readiness and technology, and all that other stuff takes away from it. So just fix all this stuff, close some of the bases, and make the shift so we have the finest, readiest, handsomest military in the world.
Well, and look at TRICARE premiums, which have been artificially kept so low that our healthcare system in the military is unsustainable. I mean, we're going to become Pentagon's going to become a healthcare provider that also fights wars. I mean, that's what we're looking at. But the problem is the world doesn't go away, Kennedy. The threats that are present today the world is even more chaotic than it was when Barack Obama left office, and that's a result of weak policies. So you got to fund it and fix it at the same time. And I think President Trump's number, while a good increase, is only 3% above what actually occurred when you add OCO funds on top of sequestration. What McCain and Thornberry are talking about is a 10% increase. And I think if you do acquisitions reform and personnel reform properly, you can find a lot of savings over say, the first term of the Trump administration.
No, I understand. You want to buy the fat person who became slim a new wardrobe. What I'm saying is take the old dress and pare it down a little bit and use the rest of the material to make mittens and a scarf.
Okay, we got to make sure our guys have mittens and scarves and machine guns and modern airplanes and boats.
Buy our machine gun.
And
It'll
brigades.
be sexy. All right, Pete Hegseth, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.